Why do we suffer? Why? Why is life about suffering? Well, the short answer is because we like to. Because we want to. This is why we suffer. Maya has us convinced that we are all alone in this, right? And we are full of questions like, why the hell did that person die? Why did he say that to me? Why do I have this lack of finances? Why suffering? So suffering is mostly the addiction to why, because I am Marcia. Let's be in first person. I am so enamored with me and how this life affects me, and that I suffer in. Is there a way out? Hey, everybody. There is. Guruji, Nanak, and when we say Guruji, it's like victory to the light that walks into the darkness. That's his name, right? He was willing to say, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is you can end suffering. But you know what? Notice how you feel about that, right? It's like, I don't know. I'm not so thrilled with the idea because that's who Marcia is. Makes me sad. You know, that's what makes sense. Well, but y'all know, you're with me. Hopefully. We understand that. So what is the way out? Well, in Gurumukhi, which means from the mouth of the Guru, which is the language we chant in Kundalini Yoga, the answer that is really come to me is Sunya. Sunya. Deep listening. Sunya creates contentment. When I deeply listen and I get under my suffering and under my need for why, I hear the nod. And the nod is the vibration of God. And it's all around us, but the most important place the nod is vibrating is in Marcia. And when we become ekonkar, when we remember, I am one with that, then Maya is just a show. It doesn't mean you're not going to vote. It doesn't mean you're not going to work, but you're going to do it with contentment, knowing that, let's get honest. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the political thing in America, right? The truth is, it matters who wins. We're going to vote, but stay with me here. Your crazy is going to be just as crazy regardless of who wins, right? So if you're a Biden person and he wins, you're going to be like, woohoo! And I don't know about you, my woohoo never leads to anything really that great. And if Trump wins and I'm going to be sad, then I'm going to be doing sad, right? And if RFK wins, maybe it's a whole new world. But the truth is, they don't have that kind of power. And it's so distracting. So we do the things in life, but the majority of what is needing to be done is meditation, 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 and chanting the nod. And when we chant, to deeply listen to our own sound current, because it takes away the separateness. We have so much conflict about the color of our skin and the ones that are privileged and the religious this and the religious that and they do this, they. I'm telling you, it's all a fantasy. I mean, all of our prejudice really is one thing. It came down to economic power. And every single one of us are slaves. You'd like to think, Marcia would like to think I am not, but I am. I'm on a hamster wheel. I thought it was such a big move to leave the government job. But the work is now, 20 years later, I'm now going, oh, shit. It's me that's the slave driver. Now, there is a big darkness that is ruling us with the dollar, for sure, penning us against each other. No, and go back to the, no, I've suffered more. Y'all, we cannot, first of all, you don't want to stake in the ground about being the best sufferer. And then the secondary is suffering is suffering, and even like, if you look at like, let's say, okay, let's look at the Obamas, okay? So there are people, they are black people, they are people in power, they are people with money. Do you think they don't suffer? They suffer. Their suffering is as real as the person on the street. It's just different. And that's where God is good, right? Sunya, we listen and we hear the suffering in the political people, right? The movie stars, everybody has it. And we are at this critical place on earth where we get to jump ahead. The sun is sending us these light codes that haven't been sent for 24,000 years. We've never been here as humanity. We've only experienced going down, 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 down. And it's going to get a little unnerving, right? The age of Aquarius. And the Aquarius is not the end-all, be-all. After Aquarius, we're going backwards. We'll be Capricorn. We want the enlightened of all of the personalities of God. And it just so happens that Aquarius is getting this big hoopla because it's at the bottom where everything's going to birth from now because of the cycle of time of 24,000 years later, right? And so Aquarius is about community and it's about love. It's about the soul. And at some point, Sunya, deeply listening to each other so we can hear anything and love them and love ourselves. What did I have been the perpetrator, right? I have been the slave and the slave owner. I have been the whore and I have been the priestess. And all of it is the colors of my robe, but it is the robe. At some point, all that comes off for every single one of us. And what is left? And this is Sunya. This is what we're listening to, is the voice of the soul ultimately, who can endure the death of a child, that can endure the diagnosis of cancer because it knows that it's always home. And when this robe I wear, I will love Marcia, but I will set her free because I was always intended to be liberated, and so are you. I love this life, and it is scary, but we all have a mission right now. Do what you can to not be at war. We are subtly at war on the streets, not even in the war zones, the them and the they and this and the that, how wrong they are. There is nothing that I see that I don't have a part in, right? And that can feel heavy unless you have a whole bunch of love and light inside of you. God is good. God's not afraid of the evil. It's like, yeah, that's a part of me too, and it wants to bring this coherence. If the hatred and the separateness gets in the pile of love and holds hands with the compassion, things begin to change. We all are going home. This weekend, we have a new moon in Pisces. Pisces is the God code. Guys, Pisces is the dream of heaven. And it's at 20 degrees, so it's all about really feel your feelings and have a boundary of love around that what you have a gut feeling about, keep it to yourself. And let that gut feeling in the new moon show you the way. Protect it. Journal about it. There is news coming through for you. New things, new ways of thinking. You know it's your soul. You know it's God. That's what this new moon is going to say. I can put God, it says, into your cancer diagnosis. I can put God into the death of that person. I will put God where it is the most dark if you let me. And you think, Marcia, well, why wouldn't we let it? Because we love to suffer. We're addicted to it. You know, I went through one of the hardest times in my life when my mom, my brother, my dad, they died. There's nobody left from my family of origin. And I was suffering. But as I do this practice, I realize that suffering was there already. They just gave me the Shakti to look at it. Like, hey, want to take a look at why you're so fucked up, you know? And I wanted to make it about being left behind. And it's like, we're never, never, never left behind. Ever. Everybody's death has a specific, like, even if it's suicide, or it's a murder, or it's a cancer, when the person leaves, the whole team is around, and they know who it's going to affect. And they want their death to be meaningful, to take you higher, to let go of your dependency on them, to celebrate life because it is so fragile. And what we normally do is we just suffer and suffer and suffer. And that's okay, because there will be a point where you just can't take it anymore. And you'll either find your way to the meditation seat and start listening, right? Sunya. Or whatever other options you have to numb out and in the craziness, right? So this new moon is offering you a new mastery over your feelings. It's asking you to not feel as a reaction to the mind, but to go beyond the mind and to feel God. And when we do that, sunya, contentment, everything is a part of God's play. I am so excited about this weekend because we are doing this amazing thing with my friend Eugenia from Inner Fuel. So she has this deep understanding of these tones and energy that gets into our subconscious as we lay there, not in an aggressive way, but in a very beautiful way of up-leveling out what is no longer serving us, right? Ooh, I need to say hello. Living easy. Hey there. So she does that, and I will be setting it up with an amazing Kriya for healing our suffering so that we can open to an emotional healing in this new moon. I hope you enjoy it. You come. You do that. It's this Saturday at noon for 3 hours. It's amazing, and it's on our website. But the thing I'm most excited about, you know what it is. We're going to start a new 40-day on the spring equinox. And that's where all of this talk comes from. Sunya. We'll be in the third verse that is about Sunya. It's called the 10th Purti. We will be learning that. And then we will be doing a really cool Kriya that's 9 minutes long that drops the delusion that something's wrong with you. I used to love when Guru Jagat would, she would talk about Yogi Bhajan, and he would say, "Thank God there's nothing wrong with you." And anyways, that's a thing. We think we're the weirdest ones, or we're the ones that suffer more. And, and it's like, woohoo, hello everybody. It's such good news to know, no, there's nothing wrong with you, right? You're just human and fully divine. Woohoo! And Kundalini. And this work helps us. So we're going to do that on Friday, the 22nd, the day after, actually the day before the, the equinox. So I hope you join us for that. I love you guys. Chant. Chant. Listen. Sunya. Sunya. Satnam.